Cyclops is the most disrespected superhero in cinematic history. Despite appearing in 6 live-action X-Men films across 19 years, he never led a single story. Instead, he was simply reduced to a love triangle prop, or sidelined as a glorified cadet in Mystique's shadow. But what if Fox had committed to Scott Summers the way they committed to Wolverine, and James Marsden got the character arc he deserved? Let's start with the basics. In the comics, Scott Summers is the first X-Man, the lens through which the mutant struggle is defined. He's the team's tactician, the one who makes the calls no one else will. And here's the thing, an entire generation already knew who Cyclops was. If you grew up in the 90s, you learned him from the X-Men animated series. That show didn't treat Scott Summers like a jealous boyfriend. It treated him like a battlefield commander. He was calm under pressure. He issued orders. He made impossible calls. And when Wolverine, yes, that Wolverine, pushed back, Cyclops didn't fold.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub, keep buzzing in my ear.
So naturally, Hollywood looked at all of that and said, what if he was just Jean Grey's jealous boyfriend? When the first X-Men movie dropped in 2000, it changed everything. Leather suits, grounded powers. It proved superhero movies could be serious, adult, cool. But there was a problem baked into the DNA of that film. Fox had no idea what to do with Cyclops. James Marsden, who, let's be honest, looked like he walked out of a comic panel, played Scott Summers. And for about 5 minutes you think, okay, this could work. He blasts Sabretooth off a train. He tells Wolverine to back off. He's confident, capable, in control. And then the movie made a choice. It turned Cyclops into the obstacle, the uptight boyfriend, the establishment figure that Wolverine, the cool loner with the claws and the attitude, has to rebel against. The love triangle became the emotional core, and Scott, he was the third wheel, in his own team, in his own story.
You gonna tell me to stay away from me, girl?
Well, if I had to do that, she wouldn't be my girl.
But wait, it gets so much worse. The sequel X2 is widely considered the best film in the Fox franchise. It's got depth, action, stakes. It's the Empire Strikes Back of X-Men movies. And Cyclops? He's in it for maybe 15 minutes. He gets captured in the opening act, spends the majority of the movie off-screen. Why? So Wolverine could step into the leadership role, rallying the team, saving the day. They didn't just sideline the leader, they removed him from the board so someone else could play his position. It's like if the Avengers spent half of Endgame with Captain America tied up in a basement so Hawkeye could give all the inspiring speeches. It's narratively bizarre. And here's the kicker. This was intentional. The studio saw Wolverine as the breakout star. Hugh Jackman had charisma for days. The rebellious loner was easier to market than the disciplined tactician. So they leaned in, hard. By the time X-Men The Last Stand rolled around in 2006, they didn't even pretend anymore. The Last Stand adapted the Dark Phoenix saga. In the comics, this is the definitive X-Men story. It's about Jean Grey losing control of godlike power. And at the heart of it, the emotional anchor, is her relationship with Scott. The love, the tragedy, the impossible choice. It's their story. So naturally, Fox wrote off Cyclops in the first 25 minutes. He just walks up to Jean at a lake, gets taken out as she loses control of her powers, and we find his glasses floating mid-air. Why? Because James Marsden was filming Superman Returns, a scheduling conflict. They wrote out the emotional core of the Phoenix saga because of a scheduling conflict. And they gave his role, his grief, his love, his connection to Jean, to Wolverine. You'd think that would be the end, right? The character's dead, let's move on. But no. Fox rebooted the franchise with younger actors. X-Men Apocalypse in 2016 introduces Ty Sheridan as young Scott Summers. Fresh start, clean slate, a chance to do it right this time. And what did they do? They made Mystique the inspirational leader. Jennifer Lawrence, fresh off Hunger Games fame, became the face of the team, the mentor, the one who gives the rousing speeches. Meanwhile, Scott is a cadet, a student, learning the ropes. The guy who's supposed to be the first X-Man, the foundational leader, is playing second fiddle to a character who, in the comics, is a literal villain most of the time. And then came Dark Phoenix in 2019, Fox's last attempt to tell the Phoenix story. Surely this time they'd center Scott, right? Give him the arc he deserved. Nope, the climax shifts focus back to Xavier and Magneto's ideological chess match. Scott's there. He's loyal to Jean. He fights for her. But the story isn't about him. It's never about him. By the time the credits rolled on Fox's X-Men era, Cyclops had been in 7 films, if you include those brief cameos, and had never, not once, been the protagonist of his own story. Here's what pains me. The stories were right there. The Fox films left massive Cyclops arcs on the table, arcs that could have redefined the franchise. The comics frame Scott as Xavier's intended successor, not his unquestioning student. He respects the dream, but understands its limits. X-Men and X2 ignore this entirely. Rather than challenging Xavier's optimism after government betrayal and mutant imprisonment, Scott is reduced to personal insecurity. The films miss the chance to show a man beginning to question whether idealism alone can protect his people, the first step toward true authority. In X-Men: The Last Stand, this was the moment to adapt Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men-era Cyclops. With Xavier gone, Scott should have been forced to step up as the headmaster. Exploring a Cyclops who is losing his mind with grief, but still having to lead an army, would have been compelling. A film adaptation of this era would have showcased Scott not as a rival to Wolverine, but as his superior officer, whom Logan begrudgingly respects because he's just better at this. That's cool. That's earned authority. All of that, all of it, got left on the cutting room floor so Wolverine could brood and slash and say "bub" a lot. But here's the deeper issue, and it's uncomfortable. Fox didn't just sideline Cyclops because Wolverine was popular. They sidelined him because Scott represents a type of masculinity that Hollywood didn't know how to sell in the early 2000s. Wolverine is the lone wolf, the intense, rebellious anti-hero. He drinks, he fights, he doesn't play by the rules. That's easy to market. That's every action hero from the 80s and 90s. Scott is different. He's responsible, communal. He represses his pain for the good of the team. He leads through others, not over them. And in the early 2000s, that read as boring. But here's the twist. The MCU proved that framework wrong. Captain America is a Boy Scout. He's virtuous, self-sacrificing, and earnest. And he became one of the most beloved characters in the entire MCU. Why? Because the Russo brothers and the writers committed to him. They didn't apologize for his goodness, they made it his strength. Fox wrote Cyclops with apology. They were embarrassed by him, and the audience felt it. Which brings us to Avengers: Doomsday. The Fox X-Men are coming to the MCU, and the recent Doomsday teaser showed us a glimpse of Cyclops in his comic-accurate costume, recreating that legendary shot from the comics. Which looks exciting, but maybe Marvel is playing the long game, or they're just doing the Fox thing again. Lean on the legacy actors. Bank on the X-Men nostalgia. Keep Cyclops in the background, once again as a supporting player in someone else's story. I really, really hope they don't do this. But till then, we would have to trust the Russo brothers. So let me hear from you. Do you trust the MCU to finally get Cyclops right? Drop a comment. And if you want more breakdowns on the untapped potential of other Marvel or DC characters, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.
To me, my X-Men